Welcome to episode 2 of the Nucleust podcast, where we interview our friends, bandmates, and discuss all things music. In this episode, I, Jayden Walker, will be interviewing Nucleust guitarist Jordy with some questions that have accumulated online on Instagram and Facebook and the other and that. And let's get into it. So, Jordy, how are you today?
Good, man. Good.
Good to have you here in the studs. We're here in person. This isn't an online thing. We are in the same room, which is going to be a fresh thing for us. But anyway, enough with banter. Let's get into some questions. So, here we go. So, Jordy, who inspired you to make music?
Grew up with my parents playing music. My mum sings. She was in a choir pretty much all her life.
Wow.
Her dad plays guitar, plays the organ, the church organ.
Organ and choir, hey?
Yeah. So they grew up with the radio and things went on from there.
Wow. So it was religious based? Or
It was.
Did you go to
religious
church
based.
as a kid? Or
I did go to church as a kid. And
Did
then
you
look
sing in
how
the
I
choir?
turned out now.
Did you go like sing in the choir and everything?
A little bit.
Oh,
That's
wow.
that's probably where I learned how to sing and
Wow.
all the bits and pieces that involved.
Full disclosure, Nucleust isn't a Christian band, but
No, we're not.
yeah, but I think all of us were baptized at least. But
Hmm.
yeah. All right, wow, that's interesting. And you're not a true blue Aussie, I believe.
No, I've been here 15 years.
Oh wow. And where'd you come from?
Malaysia.
Malaysia. Wow.
Yeah.
Did you play any music over there?
I started my first band in Malaysia when I was 15.
What was the scene like over there for metal?
Terrible.
Hence the move, I guess.
Started off playing punk, actually.
Oh. So that's what made you make the move to Australia?
No, we just moved because it was better.
Australia is the go, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I think I didn't start playing metal until I moved here, actually.
And what would you say would be like the main metal band that got you into metal when you were younger?
Oh, from first to last.
From first to last.
Yeah. I think the first metal cover I played on drums was a From First to Last song. I cannot remember the name of the song for the life of me right now.
I haven't really had anything to do with that band, but they do ring a bell. This is a good question. How would you describe the music that you typically create?
Not very well thought out, I think. But it's usually kind of genty / groovy because I did start off playing drums.
Yep. And you were playing drums for Once Almost Never?
I was for a little while, and then moved to guitar actually after a bit.
Yeah. And you've since left that band, and now you're focusing on 2 main projects.
Yes,
Obviously,
yes.
Nucleust and I Created a Monster.
Yep, both my babies at the moment.
Yeah, I Created a Monster. Very, very technical, genty, mathcore, proggy, headache.
Slightly melodic on top of that.
Yeah. And so that's worth a check out, that's for sure. This is a funny one. Metallica or Megadeth?
Probably neither, but more Metallica, I think.
Yeah, it's when Megadeth never really caught my ear. I mean, they have a couple of good songs, but overall, I feel like they were pretty rubbish.
I mean, Lars as a drummer does annoy me a little bit, but I'd still go Metallica over Megadeth.
And how would you describe your creative process when writing either drums or guitars, I guess?
I suppose with drums, I usually start off with just a groove. And then with guitars, usually the same, actually. I'll put some drums down first because I think more of a drummer than a guitarist.
Lay down a foundation of drums.
Yeah, and then just doodle over the top of that and see what comes out.
That sounds familiar. That's pretty much what I do as well. And who would you most like to collaborate with, dead or alive, I guess?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
Oof. I'm going to go old school, but Jimmy Page.
That'd be good. That would be interesting.
That would be very good.
Been listening to a fair bit of his stuff lately, actually.
Yep.
And well, if you could open a show for any artist, dead or alive, who would that be?
Led Zeppelin, actually, following that. But unfortunately, that's impossible.
Yeah. I mean, even if they were all alive,
Yeah,
it
they'd
would be
be.
a pretty uneventful show. I think it'll be
Yeah,
on
they're
wheelchairs.
they're pushing 70s, 80, 70 now, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And who would you choose, Periphery or Meshuggah?
Periphery.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know where I stand on that one. I think when I got that question, I probably answered Periphery, I think. But, horses for courses. They're all good, obviously. But
Actually, I'll take that back somewhat.
sit on the fence.
Meshuggah chugs over Periphery, but Periphery melody
Yeah,
over
Periphery's
Meshuggah.
singing, Periphery's melody, Meshuggah's rhythm section.
Yeah.
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 That would be the ideal band. And what is the most useless talent that you have?
Me, I don't know. I'm pretty useless in general when it comes to not music stuff.
I said finger popping. Those are the old.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was my most useless talent.
Yeah, I don't really have much else. I mean, I game. That's probably one of the most useless talents that you can have.
And what game are you playing at the moment?
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2.
Just one
On
of those.
console, I
On
imagine.
console.
Yeah.
PlayStation forever.
PlayStation over Xbox, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a PlayStation that gathers dust more than gets turned on, unfortunately, although
Yeah.
I would love to play more Fallout. But I'm really looking forward to the new Assassin's Creed Viking.
Oh, that does look.
Valhalla one.
Yeah, that does look good.
That is going to be great. I fucking love the look of that.
Well, at the moment, it's used more for Netflix, my PlayStation, really. But
Yeah, I can relate to that. Do you sing in the shower? And if you do, what song do you sing?
no, I don't. I have this weird phobia about singing in front of my family, actually.
Yeah, well, try being me. And screaming. And
Yeah.
just screaming.
Yeah, fair enough.
As a kid, you're still living at home and you'd want to practice your vocals, or I had a little rig when I was in high school, so I'd record my vocals on demos and I'd wait till they left the house before I'd track vocals. And at one point, I had a Line 6 USB interface that was powered via USB and a laptop, so I essentially had a portable rig. So I'd take my laptop in the car with a microphone and the interface, and I'd go park at the school up from my house that was empty on a weekend and record vocals in the car because I was too embarrassed to do them in the house with everyone listening.
The things we do, huh?
Yeah. And what do you reckon you'd be doing right now if it wasn't for your, your love of music? Like, do you reckon you'd still be just doing what you're doing without music, or would you be focusing on maybe another hobby? Or
I think if I wasn't playing music, I'd probably be cooking a lot because I am a chef
not the Breaking Bad kind.
by trade.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I'd probably be cooking quite a bit, and the only reason I'm not anymore is because of music.
Well, that sucks. I guess when we're on the road, you can cook for us.
Yeah, we can work something out.
Yeah. I didn't know you were a chef. Wow.
Yeah, unfortunately, I had to pick the bigger love over those two.
Yeah. It's hard to pass up food as a big love, though, isn't it? Put food to the side. That's tough. Where have you performed lately, or whenever, at a venue? Say, give me your most favourite venue that you've played a gig at, and the least favourite venue of yours.
Favorite, because I haven't been around too much, I'm probably going to say Amplifier Bar here in Perth.
It's a classic.
Because everyone plays there.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Least favorite, probably the Boston.
The Boston.
The
yeah,
Boston.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit too out of the way. I don't know, this sound is kind of,
Especially how the stage is where it is, but there's no backstage. You've just got to walk through the crowd to get onto the stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And it creates a weird vibe when the band is sort of in the mosh pit setting up their equipment. It just feels weird.
Yeah, and it's a bit old.
Yeah, the lights are good. Good lighting rig.
Yeah.
They got a good console. I can't comment on the PA. I haven't really looked at it, but,
Saying that, all the sound guys I've had at the Boston have been good to us.
Yeah, I haven't actually played there myself, but I've done a lot of drinking there. And so it probably renders my opinion of the place invalid, given that when I'm there I'm drunk. So, yeah, I can't really comment on that one. But I've done a lot of photography gigs there, and their lighting is great for that, because they got a big smoke machine That always helps.
Yes, they do.
If you had to choose between two bands, Job for a Cowboy or Black Dahlia Murder?
Ooh, Job for a Cowboy.
Hmm.
1, vocals, and 2, their drummer. Whew.
Yeah, isn't it a shame that Job for a Cowboy just seemed to be so lost in... I don't know how you would say it, but they're just not recognised as much as I would assume they should be.
They're playing dad deathcore music at the moment. Just sort of complacent, aren't they?
Yeah, they've been very stagnant, although their music's always been consistent. But one thing that I don't understand is that, and obviously it's not a requirement for bands, but in 2020 it doesn't help. It does help, I should say. But they don't have any music videos.
No,
One music video for when they did their song Entombment of a Machine, which got so much shit for some reason that apparently that scared them off doing them ever again, from what I remember.
Yeah, right.
So they don't want to do them anymore. And I'm just thinking, wow, they must be on a, like, not intentionally, but they mustn't need to spend much on their releases because they don't need to spend it on music videos. They don't need to spend it on, like, you know, anything fancy like that. So it's pretty... Maybe it's strategical, but
yeah, maybe be a bit cheaper way to do things.
But yeah, I really liked their the Sun Eater album that they did. That was really different. And their bass guitar, instead of being a clanky traditional metal tone, it was really round and.
Yeah.
I loved that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of them. How do you feel the internet has impacted the music scene? Speaking of music videos.
I think it's getting harder to get your music out there, and the internet is helping quite a bit.
It helps get you to people, but
like the reach you can get.
It helps everyone else get to people. So the competition is more fierce.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I guess. Yeah.
But it does give you options that you couldn't do, say, 10 years ago.
That's it. Although it makes it hard to break out in your scene because in your local scene because metal local fans are listening to people from Belgium as opposed to Australia, for instance. But it obviously helps you reach fans in Belgium from Australia, where you'd never reach them, or USA, etc. So it's good. I think overall it's good, but competition is fierce. That's for sure.
It's just finding out a way how to break that barrier, I guess.
It is hard. I mean, I'm glad I'm not back in the day, like, because I was thinking about it the other day. I was sitting on my phone doing my routine spamming of band material, and I was thinking, I'm doing this comfortable in bed, drinking a coffee, you know. Whereas back in the day, if I wanted to do this kind of promotion, I would have been standing outside of a venue in the cold rain, potentially handing out flyers that most people are dropping on the ground. Whereas this, I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home, doing it when I feel like it. I don't have to line up for a show. I don't have to go to a venue at a weird hour. I can just sit there and spam without
that's true.
Without having to do any of that. So I think it's good. It's very convenient.
Oh,
it's very convenient. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember the last gig I've been to be honest. What would be your favourite song to perform live? Let's hear one. What ICAM song? What's your favourite ICAM song?
ICAM's it'll probably be Hollow.
Hollow, and why is that?
The title track for our EP. It's not too complicated, but it's not simple.
It's got to be moshable, doesn't it? Like when you're playing.
Yeah.
I always found that my favourite songs are the ones that aren't too hard to play.
And also, I think that song is probably the most personal to me. So there's a lot more emotion that goes into that one particular song.
Well, I hope the same vibe is conveyed with your new singer, hopefully, because that still stays true.
He is turning out quite well, so hopefully he blends in.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. And say when we've been jamming lately, we've been looking at jamming some new songs in the rehearsal studio for Nucleust, but we've been smashing a lot of the EP. What would be your favourite song to play?
Walls of Glass, definitely. That song it's
got a lot of bounce.
Yeah, it just keeps me going, that one.
That is a good one. We always seem to get a mosh pit for that song.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Cannot wait for them to play that live. Cannot wait.
Yeah. What's a famous musician that you admire? Or maybe draw inspiration from?
I would say more admire over inspiration. It's Mike, I think I'm saying this right, Einziger from Incubus.
Oh, yes. I know the band. What is it, the singer or the guitarist?
The guitarist.
Guitarist, yeah, it is quite good. I mean, I love their singer.
Yeah, he's great. He's a
What a
great,
band.
great lyricist.
I haven't heard that
Brandon
band in
Boyd.
a while. I might have to revisit them today.
Yes. Yeah, you will not disappoint. They will not disappoint.
That might be our artist of the week. You keep us blow off the dust on those CDs and get them out. Wow. What is the most trouble you've ever gotten into?
Oof. Look, I can't remember if I was a really bad child or if I wasn't, but I think probably when I was a lot younger, going to those they call them internet cafes, where it's just a bunch of computers and you sit there and you play games.
Yeah, old school.
Yep, old school, very old school. I think I was probably 13, 14 at the time,
Yeah.
and yeah, just went there against my parents' wishes. That's probably the most trouble I got into.
And you weren't going there and looking up naughty websites. You're just going there and
No, I
playing
was
Skyrim
just
or
going.
something.
Yeah, I was just going and playing Counter-Strike. Actually, that was the only game I played.
Not RuneScape or something back in those days.
Yep, and that was the worst. Yeah.
Wow.
Talk about nerd, hey?
Yeah. Speaking of old school, who would you prefer, Slipknot or Korn?
Slipknot,
Yeah.
for sure. But
Fuck Korn.
Slipknot with Joey Jordison.
Yeah, as long as they keep
Unpopular
Corey
opinion.
around, I'm set. I just love anything Corey does, except for his new album. I don't know if you've heard that.
No, I have not.
Just don't bother. It's fucking awful. The music videos are cheesy, and I just feel like the whole reason he's doing it is like he's trying to see how people react. You know, like it's like the whole thing is a big troll. Like he's trolling everyone because he's got a big, wrestling belt, and he's got this song called CMF Can't Be Stopped, like Corey motherfucking Taylor can't be stopped, and it's just like who you gonna Corey Taylor can't be stopped. It's just like the cheesiest thing ever. And yeah, I cannot handle it. But I mean, I still love Stone Sour and all of that. But yeah, from a musical perspective, though, what do you reckon's the best advice you've been given?
Best advice.
Maybe it's a little trick on an instrument.
I think it was probably my mother going to me.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not the Beatles. You're not a professional musician. And that I think was the catalyst for me. It's like, all right, I'll prove it to her. I'll record my own stuff. I'll release my own music, and then maybe one day she'll be like, oh, maybe he isn't the Beatles because no one is. But
and no one will ever be as
no,
popular
yeah,
as that.
exactly.
Not even Taylor Swift or Katy Perry will ever be as famous as that.
But at least I would have had something that I wrote out there.
Yeah, I had the same experience when I was at school, and the school, I forgot what their role was, but they were like, their job at the school was to help you figure out a career path.
Oh, yeah.
Like a guidance counsellor but for careers or something like that. And they pretty much said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, I just want to play music. And they're like, well, your grades are, doing bad. We want to push you into this. And I was like, yeah, well, I don't really care. I just want to do music. And they're like, yeah, but you can't do music for a living. You can't. That's a stupid idea. Like, you can't. And I was just like, well, who the fuck are you to tell me what I can do, for one? And who says I can't? Because I didn't say, I want to play in a band and be, a metal guitarist. I was just like, I just want to make money out of music.
Yeah.
So a guidance counsellor should have said, well, get good grades so you can get into uni and maybe get a music degree, maybe get a sound engineering degree.
And then you can do all that.
Maybe get a teaching certificate so you can teach music. There's a lot of ways to make money out of music.
That's true.
And it's very hard to make money out of playing music from a band perspective, but I wish they would have said, how about, so they could have humoured me,
Yeah.
They could have said, well, look, how about you try well at maths? Because his job is to make me to do well at school. So he should have said, well, if you keep, not doing well at maths because you want to be a musician, that's going to ruin your chances to get into uni where you could become a proper qualified musician to be able to then get a teaching, then go teach.
And then you will be.
Yeah, or become a session musician or become, a sting writer or a score writer for movies. Like there's all these different things that you could do to make money out of music. But yeah, at my school anyway, they didn't really help you achieve any of that.
It's quite funny how people think that way. As soon as you say you want to play music, the first thing they snap their minds to is, oh, he wants to play in a band and be famous.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of ways. Like, I just want to make money out of being creative, really. And music's the only thing I'm good at. So that's a way to be creative and make money out of music in a way. And, it could be anything. But, yeah, so anyway, when he said that, I was just like, oh, fuck you then. And I just dropped out of school and got an apprenticeship as an electronics technician and thought, well, if I can't make money out of music, I won't bother with school. I will get into a trade and make enough money to be able to buy all the shit that I wanted out of being in a band. Like, I'll fucking go buy all those guitars. I'll pretend I'm in a band if I have to. So I did that. I bought fucking guitars out, more guitars than I know what to do with.
Oh, tell me about it. I've got the same problem, mate.
What do you prefer, Jackson or Ibanez? Because I know you play a bit of...
That question. My guitarist in I Created a Monster will hate me for saying this, but I can't stand Ibanez. So, Jackson. If I had those two to pick from.
Yeah. I've got it. I own a very cheap 8-string Ibanez. It's rubbish. I own a Jackson DK2 Dinky, a Jackson Dinky bolt-on, and it's good. It's good. It's got a Floyd Rose, so I don't use it very often.
I think I'm playing a Jackson Dinky with Nucleust at the moment. So there you go.
Oh, yeah. You are?
Yeah.
My Dinky's got the old school headstock where it's like really pointy, like it points down.
Yeah, mine's the new era one.
Mine's like the typical kind of 80s rock kind of looking type one, with the weird headstock.
Yeah.
Kurt Hammett would have used back in the day kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a very hair metal guitar, isn't it?
I like this question. It's Fender or Gibson?
Same deal. Actually, no, I'll take that back. I can stand Fenders, but not...
He can see a Fender in the room, so he's biased.
Not the Stratocaster.
I can't stand Gibson.
The Telecasters, I will, definitely. And one day, hopefully, I will get one.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah, Gibson as well. Like, I have an SG. I don't really like the SGs, but I'll go for a Les Paul.
I haven't had the luxury of playing a very nice Gibson. Being left-handed, I haven't been able to put my hands on many guitars, but the few Gibsons that I've played have generally been along the cheaper line. I don't think any of them would have been over probably none of them would have been over 1,500 Australian dollars. So I'm probably not in the right. I probably haven't had a good enough experience
to be able to decide.
Yeah, but I know I love the sound of Fenders and their twanginess and their brightness. Yep. So, I can hear that left-handed or right-handed, and I own a Strat, and I love that. And I've got a Fender Jazz bass, and I just, when it comes to basses, Fenders just for me, just all day. I just love Fender basses. They're jazz basses.
I can understand that.
They're great. I mean, if you got the money, a Warwick obviously would be ideal as well, but you can't beat a Fender Jazz bass.
If only they didn't come in that shape.
Well, if you could change anything about the industry, music industry,
yes,
what would it be?
Ooh, tough question. I guess it'll be the biasness of everyone else who doesn't listen to metal. Just saying that's screamo or that's just metal.
That's just satanic worshipping music.
And just stereotyping us.
Yeah.
Because it's not just metal, it's not just screamo. There's different emotions in different songs. Yeah.
It's a lot more complicated to write metal than it is to write a punk song.
And like the musicality of it. It's a lot harder to...
That's a sport for the drummer.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to playing like in a rock band. Being a metal drummer is like being an athlete.
And it's a lot harder for a guitarist to write a metal song and put things together the way they do than a rock band playing with, 4 chords and a chorus.
That's it. And I mean, the people that listen to mainstream music aren't musicians. Yes. So their expectations and overall insight into what's going on in the instruments is pretty low. For instance, like your generic music lover that doesn't play, your stereotypical person that listens to the radio or the top of the pops. Yeah. You play them a song, they couldn't even distinguish a guitar from a bass from a piano to a synth or even just a kick drum or a snare, they wouldn't understand any of that. So you throw 4 catchy chords together and a melody with some like cheeky lyrics, and they're gonna get blown out of the water. The problem with us metalheads is everyone that listens to metal is a self-professed music expert. So they're judging you on their guitars, they're judging you on the bass, they're judging you on the mix, the lyrics, the vocal execution, and just every little detail is being put under a microscope with metal. Whereas with like people that listen to Nirvana, no one was saying, "Oh, you could have fucking." Well, okay, that's a bad example because Nirvana was meant to be grunge. But say like the Foo Fighters, no one's going, "Oh, well, he didn't play that technical chord there," or he didn't like, the production's a bit rubbish, or he's so boring on guitar. They don't get put up, to the same scrutiny as metal does. Like metal
I agree.
has a really tough audience because they're judging you on so many other factors than a bloody Madonna song, So I find that's true.
And with the amount of layers that goes into metal music, for us metalheads to break it down, even subconsciously, I think is pretty good.
It's also very difficult from the sound engineer's perspective. Everything is balls to the wall with metal.
Yeah.
Everything's in your face. So to mix all these crazy, distorted, low-tuned elements...
And put it together.
And to have it all sit well and still have the drum kit cut through all that noise.
Yeah.
And have vocals that aren't technically vocals still sit in the mix where it's all screaming. I mean, it's a tough job, and I think, it's definitely underappreciated. We sound biased, but...
We do,
I think
because
if it
we
wasn't
are.
in metal, I would still appreciate it. And I know a lot of musicians and sound engineers that couldn't care less about metal, still give it credit. And I think,
it's just the closed-mindedness of people. I wish that would change.
Yeah, I think a musician worth his salt could see that, metal is quite an elite sport.
And it's not just a bunch of noise.
No, that's right. It's quite more. Well, I think I've got one more question here, and that is, what is for you next?
What is for me next?
Yeah, what's next for you?
Well, musically, we've got, 2 songs in the works, I believe, Nucleust?
Nucleust does, yes.
Yep.
And it's just down on me now. I just got to do vocals.
Yep. We're just waiting on you.
As usual.
And with I Created a Monster, because we've been quiet for so long, 2 singles and possibly 2 EPs in the next year alone.
Doubling down on EPs.
Doubling down because why not? 4, possibly 5.
Wowie. Wow.
Yeah. We're probably being a little bit ambitious here. And I don't think we've actually even talked about it, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Why not? Because we'll set a goal, or I'll set a goal and push the boys to do it.
That's it. I mean, the year is coming to an end too, so I mean, there's not much time left to get things done. Yeah. So.
Well, actually, I should probably clarify next year.
Oh, yes. Within a year from now.
Yes.
So, say 6 months' time, you might drop one.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully. And then as much as possible with Nucleust as well, obviously.
Yes, Nucleust are going to keep trying to put out a song every couple of months.
Yep.
2 to 3 months, we'll drop a single. We've all been very busy, so we've had a bit of a delay on our last single, but that was down to me being away for 2 weeks and and not being able to record.
Yeah, life keeps getting in the way.
It does, and I'm a very slow writer. So anyway, on that, thanks for joining me today, Jordy.
Thank you.
And we're going to wrap it up now. Next episode, which will be episode 3. I think in the first episode I said episode 2 was going to be Max, but he couldn't make it today. So we got Jordy in to fill this week's. Yeah, and we'll do Max some other time. Bugger him. So anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Stay metal. Stay safe. Peace out.